up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Aces High podcast with your host, Miriah and Ty. Ty, happy Monday. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy Monday to you also. How are you feeling tonight?
Doing good, feeling
All
all
right.
right, hanging in there. You know, it's good. We don't have to worry about being a loser or a winner today because we had no
Nope.
teams to play yesterday. So,
Nope.
it's as bad as it sucks with our team being, out of the playoffs and finals, whatever. At least we don't have to worry about them not losing and winning and all that shit. So
Exactly.
it's
And
been
we got some
so stress free this weekend.
yeah. And we got some good news from one of our members. She's a former member now, but we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, well I didn't see. So
Talk about Natalie.
oh yeah, we're
Yeah,
talking about that first. So
yeah.
chat, what's up? Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing great. It's Dawn Throwback. Appreciate you both
What's up,
as
everybody?
always. Brandon, what's good? Those that are out there not in chat that watch back on replay, what's up? We appreciate you all as well. Real quick before we get any further, if you're either watching now or you happen to watch back on replay, Kelly and Melly, both of you ladies, I need your addresses. I don't know if you have sent them already, but if so, they're long lost, who knows where. So if you guys watch this or if you're out there, and you guys could send me your addresses, email me. My first name, MIRIAH 35 at gmail.com. And then just put in, like the subject bar, something with your screen name and then address. So when I search for the email, I'm able to just pull it up. Appreciate you, ladies. Hopefully you guys see this. But yeah, Joel, what's up? I see you. Hope
What's
you're
up?
doing well. But yeah, we'll start with Natalie. The Valkyries officially named their head coach, and me and Ty, we're used to this coaches being poached when it comes to our football team. And I knew it was just a matter of time before, the Aces, squads started getting poached as well. Back-to-back championships, it's not, not anybody can just walk in and do that. It's not easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I for sure thought, Tyler as well. We'll see if he ends up getting, a head coaching job somewhere. Hopefully not. I would like to not have a whole new coaching squad to start over from. As much as I want him to, like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's probably my favorite coach on our squad. So I would love for him to get the opportunity to, be a head coach. But I selfishly, I don't want to lose him at the same time. But yeah, so, it's pretty cool because the Valkyries, they have a woman GM. I believe their VP, who their GM named, is also a lady as well.
Yep.
And now they named their first head coach in history, who also is, a woman as well. So it's awesome. I love to see it. So Natalie, yes, named, the first head coach of the Golden State Valkyries. I'm going to play a little clip from her press conference in a minute. But to be honest, a couple days prior, maybe even the night before, I was tweeting back and forth with a Valkyries fan, and they were asking me, who, if it were up to me, who we would core, and then who I thought, if the Valkyries were to pick any of our players to go over there, who I thought, they should pick and whatnot. We're going back and forth. And when we're talking about head coaches, and we talked about even Spoon, possibly, and how, I never even crossed my mind to bring up Natalie, and not because I didn't think she deserves it or not, but there had never been like anything to make us think that they were interviewing her, that she
Yeah.
was applying for jobs, that she was nothing, right? So we're going to get into a little conspiracy I have with this a little later, but I don't want to take away from, the Natalie's time. So let me get your thoughts on the Natalie hire for Golden State, and then I'll get this press conference pulled up.
Yeah. Well, kudos to Natalie. I think it's a brilliant hire by Golden State. You're talking about someone with some pedigree who comes from a winning organization. We're talking about 2 back-to-back championships, a semifinal appearance, coaching some of the best players in the world, the best player as well, right? We've seen what she's done. We pay attention to like all the Aces background stuff that they put out and give us insights to the team, and we see her there working with every player. We see she's hands-on, and we know, like, besides Becky, she's the first person on the bench that players turn to, and they're talking to her. So we know her pedigree. And it was just last week how I was talking about how it's something about those former point guards, those former guards. They make excellent coaches. It's the way they see the floor, it's the way they see the game. They know how to manage every position and get the best out of players. Well, there you go. Natalie, right? Former guard, played the game, knows the game, knows how to coach people, knows how to connect with people. It's a brilliant hire. So I'm very happy for her. Very, excited for her to get the opportunity. We talked about if the Aces need to blow things up and maybe Tyler getting the job or Natalie getting the job. Well, we know Natalie ain't getting the job. She's out west now. But I'm very happy for her. I think it's a great move by Golden State. A great start to building their team. And it makes next season that more exciting to see, what they're going to put on the floor.
Yeah. She had brought up the Aces in her press conference, so thought it would only be fitting to play that. Let's hear what she had to say. She talks about Becky as well. Hopefully I got it timed right. So let me make sure. Where's the damn volume at? All right.
Vegas Aces, head coach, close friend of mine, Becky Hammond, a mentor, and our president, Nikki Fargas, and obviously Mark Davis, one of the best sports owners I've worked for. And what Las Vegas taught me was they taught me how to win. We won back-to-back championships in our first 2 years. And that's special, and the reason why we won was because Becky Hammond just has a really big heart, and she created such a loving and caring environment from the jump. And so we just had that initial buy-in from the start. And so I will forever be grateful for them. And, once you win a championship, as you guys know, like, you're family for life. And so I'm just grateful that I'll always have them, in my corner. And lastly, I want to thank my family.
So, she says once you win a championship, you're family for life. I think, I was already going to be paying close attention to the Valkyries. Obviously, I'm a Warriors fan. It only makes sense, had I not already been an Aces fan or not a WNBA fan, I would probably make sense to be a Valkyries fan, right? So I was already going to be following and paying close attention to them. Obviously, we'll be talking about them on the show. But now with Natalie as a head coach over there, it just only makes that much more sense to be paying attention to them. And obviously wishing she does well, except for when she's playing the Aces, of course.
Right.
But yeah, And then for her to say, a big part of winning the championship is because of Becky, Becky's heart, and caring, whatever she says, like, I don't know. It would seem that there's only a few select people that seem to think she's some kind of monster. It's going to be definitely interesting to see how this all plays out. That's for sure.
A lot of hating going on out there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Once you come in and immediately start winning, you get your haters. Don't hate the player.
The whole Hamby thing, like, I get, people are pissed off at Becky. Like, we don't even know what part of, any of this, what each person, plays in any of it. Like, we're just all jumping to believe Hamby for everything. Like, but ignoring everybody else's side of the story, right? It's like
exactly.
Or not waiting till the thing fully plays out. Like, and this has happened, right, to other players in the league before. And I don't hear, like, I couldn't even tell you who the coaches were when that shit was happening to those players. Those coaches aren't talked about. Those people aren't talked about that were dealt with those issues. But now all of a sudden it's 2024 and we have to all jump on the hate train and hate, it's popular now to hate Becky. So she must have did wrong. Hamby says Becky did wrong. So it couldn't be Hamby was jealous of Asia. It couldn't be Hamby was mad because she was having to come off the bench, even though she was drafted and should have been a star. It couldn't have been because Hamby couldn't stay healthy and on the court, regardless of pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like, could it be none of that shit? Didn't have nothing to play with any of it, right? Like, it's just like, I don't know. And I'm the first on board, right? I told you this as soon as the Hamby news came out, that changes have to be made. And that I hate that it was my team involved. But and Becky could be guilty of all the shit. And once that comes out and we find out she is, I'll be the first to get on this fucking podcast and drill her ass. Trust me. Trust and believe it'll come. But I will not sit here and just join a hate train because it's a fucking popular thing to do. When we have no facts about anything. Right. Like, people want to act like it's Hamby suing Becky. Like, that's not the case. Like, I have to tell you thousands of times already. Hamby is suing the Aces and the WNBA, her entire employer. Like, not Becky Hammond. Okay, so like, people are just
need to pump the brakes. Yeah. But people always like to point the finger and identify a bad guy, and she just happens to be it.
Yep. And she might be.
And she might be right, but we don't know all the facts. Like, everything hasn't come out. People are just jumping to, like you said, one side of the equation without hearing and knowing the other side and knowing all the facts. So we got to pump our brakes and chill, let this play out. And however it comes out, then we can say, all right, you effed up. Or, all right, it wasn't as bad as she said it was. However it plays out, let's let the facts come out first.
With all that being said, let me talk a little bit about this Natalie leaving thing. Now, we obviously know her relationship with Becky. She even said, Becky's one of my best friends, right? You're not just going to get up there in your opening press conference and tell the world that, especially right now with everything Becky has going on. Like, hi, I'm a brand new head coach and Becky's my best friend and I thank Becky for this. Like, you're not just going to get up there and lie about that. Like, if you're saying that, you have to really mean that, because you're getting heat that comes along with those statements, right? So But I'm wondering if, because, she talks about, obviously, Mark Davis. She brings up Mark Davis as that's one of the best people she's worked for. That winning the back-to-back championships, that's not something that comes easy. So, of course, you're not going to just pass up, a head coaching opportunity, right? But you're also not going to leave a great, wonderful place to just dive in head first to the unknown when you don't know any of those people. You don't know that owner, you don't know that GM, you don't know that VP, you know shit about those people. Yet you're comfortable and have the best of the best, according to you, over here, right? Now, it might make you a little bit more willing to do that if you think some heat might be coming down. Now, everybody involved is all in an unknown situation. Like, let's use let's use Tyler, for example. So, I talked about before how he's a man. So, everybody else in this situation are all women, right? They're more likely to be talking about women issues, pregnancy, all amongst themselves with De'Erica. I can't picture Tyler picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, De'Erica, you going to be popping out that kid?" Or, I can't picture that, right? So let's just say Tyler, he could have 0% to do with anything, right? But he knows that his employer, the WNBA, and his immediate employer, the Aces, are all getting sued right now. Now, let's say the Washington Mystics offer him not even a head coaching job, just say assistant coach, the exact same position he has right now. Same pay, same everything. They'll even pay you to pick up your family and move them over there. Are you going to do that to get out of this situation that could be fucking burning and crumbling to the ground? You don't know. Or nothing could happen and you guys could carry on your merry way and win another championship next season. But again, it could be the complete opposite. Everybody could get fired. And we're talking from the owner down, everybody's out, gone, whether you had something to do with it or not. So if you don't take this opportunity, you could be out of your job regardless and looking for a job in 2 months when all the other jobs have already filled up. Now, if you have a head coaching opportunity, wouldn't you be that more willing to then jump into that, even though it's all unknown, like I said?
Yeah.
Because the situation you're currently in, even though it's been all sunshine and rainbows up to this point, is also currently unknown.
Yeah. It could be. You never know. I think for Natalie, I think there's just a huge opportunity for her. Remember, there's only 12 of these positions with the Valkyrie 13.
Mm-hmm.
So you get offered a head coaching job, you take the head coaching job. Like it's a level up. You're now in charge. You're now top dog. I think any assistant does that. So for her, I completely understand it. Now, what you mentioned about Tyler could be very telling. Because it's like if it's him or another assistant on the staff, if you see them just jump ship for like no reason, you're just making a lateral move to another team, it's like, what's going on? Especially when there's a position to now move up in the coaching ranks in the position you're in, right? It's like you go from
they could get rid of everybody coach and keep him.
Exactly. You could go from third assistant coach to second or first assistant coach or something. Like, why would you automatically leave? Like, is there something going on? So that we mentioned this last week or 2 weeks ago, like this all Aces off season is kind of like fluid right now. We don't know what's going to go on with this investigation and coaches and front office and with the free agents and player movement. We don't know what's going to go on there. So the whole thing is kind of fluid. So it's going to be very interesting to just stay connected and see how this team shapes out by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Winter, I should say. Sorry, by the end of winter. Yeah. And you never know. Going into 2025, we can be looking at a different makeup for the Aces. So,
Yep.
so something to keep your eye on.
But yeah, congrats to Natalie. We'll definitely
Indeed.
be rooting for her and following her along. So far so good for the Valkyries, right? It appears they're doing things the right way. The GM spoke a little bit, at Natalie's press conference and said, the owner pretty much, gave her, got her in there and said, all right, it's yours. You make up your team. You do what you got to do. Like, I'm not getting in this, so definitely will be pretty cool to see how they build up that team. And, for anybody wondering, the Valkyries fan that I was speaking to on Twitter, I told them that it would break my heart to lose her, but it would be very smart of them to take AC. And they agreed. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right, the finals. Let's get into it. So
let's get into it.
Game 1 and 2. Well, the last time we talked to y'all, we didn't even know. We just knew it was going to be the Liberty and them.
Game 5 of the Lynx in the Sun hadn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And now we're already 2 games done in the finals.
I know.
So we're rolling right along. So Lynx and the Liberty, Game 1. Wow. I thought at the beginning, let's say second quarter, like, wow, Liberty really showed up and they're like, this ain't happening to us again.
They putting this thing away early.
Yeah. And then I was like cooking, doing some stuff. I turn and look, and like the Liberty, there was a point when the Liberty were down 20 points. And I look back over and the Liberty are like down 16. I look back over to Liberty are down. I mean, not the Liberty, the Lynx.
The Lynx. The
Lynx are down 12. I'm like, oh, okay. I look back over, they're down like 6. I'm like, oh, all right. This is getting interesting, right? Man, like there's a reason on the thumbnail of this video I put on there Courtney Williams and Benijah Laney Hamilton, because when you talk about these two teams, neither of those two are going to be the first names you talk about or the first names people are looking at to win this series, right? But both of them, one in one game and one in the other, respectfully with their wins, played huge parts in their team winning these games. Courtney hit some huge shots. The shots to tie the game, the shots to take the lead. Like she hit some big shots in Game 1. And man, and then the stars on New York like didn't show up. Like they weren't shining bright like stars of New York should be. Like Stewie, she could have sealed the win for her team by hitting freaking free throws, and she missed one. Missed one. Go ahead one. And so that's what sends the game into overtime. Had she hit that, game over, they would have won. Sabrina, who knows where she was. But yeah, like Stewie, you can't have your biggest star like choking in a time like that. But all New York pretty much choked. If you're up by 20 freaking points in a finals game, There should be no reason.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what happened. Unless two of your stars break their ankles and have to fucking get carted off the court. Like, there's no reason you should be giving up a 20-point lead in a finals game. Like, thoughts on game 1, 95-93 OT.
Yeah, it started off shocking because, like, we've seen these two teams play during the regular season and they're evenly matched. You know, they went up against each other in the Commissioner's Cup. And the Lynx won that one, you know, here in New York, and they kind of battled all season, and they were the number 1 and 2 seeds for a reason. They're the best teams out there. They play the best team ball. They get it together. And to see the Liberty come out and jump all over them, you're like, wow, I didn't expect this. Especially, I know they had the extra day of rest and stuff, so I was like, okay, maybe I understand it from that point, but I didn't think the Lynx would be like down this much. What is going on? But the Lynx showed their character. They showed why they're the 2 seed, and you know, here in the finals, they fought back, and just that ball movement that they have and getting everyone involved, and like you said, Courtney Williams stepping up and making bits. She's been in the finals before. She's a dog. This is not new for her. And when she was in the finals last time, she showed up. She's like, I'm that dude, right? I'm a dog out here. I ain't to be messed with. Showing up, just doing their thing and playing defense. And sure enough, got back into it. And at the end of the game, that shot by Court, I mean, it was a clear 3, a clear foul. It wasn't one of those phantom fouls that get called. She clearly got hit on the arm. Went to the free throw line, calm, cool, collective, made the shot. I mean, that's finals basketball. That's championship basketball. It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, like you mentioned, Stewie missing her free throw, choked. Like, what's up with that? And then at the end of the game, remember, she missed the layup. She went in and went for a layup to win it and bricked the layup, didn't make it. But like before that, Nafisa Collier was being guarded by Jonquel Jones, and she put like this 2 pump fake spin move fadeaway shot in the lane on her. That was beautiful. I mean, you saw like stars rise up and play their best basketball when the game was on the line and it mattered. And it was like, okay, this is the finals. This is what we wanted to see. We want to see these 2 teams really go at it for the championship. And that's what we got. It's like, okay, if this is game 1, the rest of this series is going to be a doozy. And, you know, it's like, oh man, I was mad that it happened on Thursday Night Football, man. Again, that I really couldn't lock in and enjoy it the way I wanted to. I had to go back and rewatch it. And yes, the schedule makers, like, come on, you know, the NFL owns their days of the week. You couldn't push that to Friday.
This entire freaking playoffs and finals, like,
exactly, they're on freaking Sunday nights and Tuesday nights when it made no sense, but still a great game regardless. Like you said, stars rising up and shining. Like New York stars showed up early but kind of faded late. Lynx stars weren't there early but came on strong at the end, and it was beautiful basketball. It was something like, if you missed that game, you should definitely go back and watch it, because it's one for the record books. It's one for, you know, just memory. Like, wow, this is what championship basketball looks like.
Yep, it was good. I watched it again yesterday before, because they were showing it
2,
prior
right?
to
Yeah.
So yeah, just to wrap up game 1, so you had Fee dropping 21 points, 8 rebounds. Kayla McBride dropped 22 points. And then Courtney Williams, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yep.
On the Liberty side, you had JJ, Jonquel Jones, dropped 24 points and 10 rebounds. Definitely the best game from her I've seen in a while. You know, like she knew, like, you can't go out, get in foul trouble in the first freaking quarter and then be useless the entire game. Like, that's not going to be able to work here, you know?
Yep.
So, like, she actually showed up. You had Stewie, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Sabrina, 19 points. And Phoebage with 17 points.
Mm-hmm.
Then
and
game
the
two.
the piece of Collier had she had like 6 blocks and 3 steals or something like that in that game. Game 1 as well. So like she was doing it on both ends. And let's not forget the piece of Collier's guarding Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones.
Yeah.
Not easy task, but she's getting it done somehow. And I don't know how she has the energy and everything, but hats off to her. It was amazing, just amazing to watch.
Yep. Game 2. Liberty come back and take the dub for this one, 66-80. So there was a point in this game when I thought, so Liberty had, you know, a big lead, looking like just like game 1. And then all of a sudden the Lynx like started closing in and started going on a run. And I'm like, the Liberty are going to do this again. They're going to freaking choke again. I'm like, I can't believe it. And then all of a sudden, Fee gets in foul trouble.
Yep.
And goes to the bench. And it was like nobody on her team. I don't know. Like, you had Lainey Hamilton like doing everything she could, but it just wasn't enough. Like, there just wasn't enough help to be able to stop New York. Their stars said, nope, we ain't letting this happen again. Fee's on the bench. All right. All right. And they just took over. Like, there was pretty much no looking back. After certain points, I freaking turned off the end of the game because it was just like disgusting.
It was in control.
Yeah. Looking at the stats, so like the Lynx, man, they were just pretty shit from the entire time. Fee led the way with 16 points, so that pretty much tells you all you need to know.
Shows you.
You had Courtney Williams with 15 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. So, you know, she had an okay game, but and then you had Smith with 14 points. Nobody else even in the double digits in points. So pretty ugly on their side. On Liberty side, you had Breanna Stewart, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 7 steals. Woo! Man, she said, no, I choked the first game. You knew she was pissed. And just knowing Stewie, like, I just couldn't see her choking 2 games in a row, right? Like, like I knew she was going to show up this game. And then, like I said, you had Lainey Hamilton with 20 points, Sabrina 15 points, Jonquel with 14 points, 9 rebounds. So, thoughts on game 2?
Yeah, another exciting one. It started off mirroring game 1, like you mentioned. Liberty up, Lynx trying to cling in, then all of a sudden the Lynx make a run. They cut it to 6 at one point, and you're like, oh, here we go again. Let's get ready for a doozy. Get some popcorn, you know, get my drink. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it turned into that type of game. But this time New York continued to pour it on, continued to make shots, and it really started on their defensive end with Stewie, with them just getting their hands up and being long. Like, Stewie was getting steals just with passes hitting her arm.
Yeah.
And just being disruptive, right? And for her, that's really where it starts. I've been following her since college. If you followed her since then, you know, for her, it's the defense. When she gets her defense going, it leads to her offense, and it makes everyone better. But really, the star tonight is really Banaj. A lot of people don't know, like before they brought in Stewie and John Quell and Courtney, like it was really like her. She was Queen Bee in New York. She was the one kind of leading the charge, getting the team right. She can score. She can play defense. She's a great two-way player. We talk about, here on the Aces, how strong Jackie is and what she does. Like Banaj is equally as strong. That is a strong, strong woman. And she's normally like the top defender. She picks up the top defensive assignment on the floor. And she's been injured for most of the season with her knee. She's been out there on one leg. And she even joked about it after the game with Holly. She said, "Hey, your shots were falling. What was the difference?" And she was like, "That shot kicked in." Right? I didn't feel injured. I felt good. But she can score as well as defend. And that was really a big thing in this game. Like her offense got going, and I don't think the Lynx expected that, because she was just hitting shot after shot. Was it 3 or 2 and helping to facilitate offensively. Yeah. She was a true X factor out there. But the Lynx have to figure out what's going on when Fee leaves the court. Because when she left the court, it was like the offense couldn't get going. No one knew what to do. No one could take a shot or hit a shot. It was just off. And I get it. Fee is the superstar. And you saw it in game 1, and you saw it in game 2 too. And we've talked about this with the Aces. Like, Asia is your superstar. Sometimes you just got to work the offense through her. Give the ball to her. You let her shoot or let her pass out of it. You do what you got to do. And they've done that with Nafisa Collier. The Lynx have done that with her. Dump it into her. You see her posting up, setting up her shot, and they get the ball to her, and she can do what she wants to do. But when she's not out there, they need to figure out, okay, we can't go through her. We got to run different offense. And they seem shell shocked out there. It's like, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. All right, are we setting the screen here? Somebody cut. Somebody do something. It was ugly. But still a great game overall. It was great to see the Liberty bounce back. And at the end, they cut that lead to 6, but then they turned it on and took control and was like, no. We're not going down 0-2. We're bringing this home. And they did that. And it made for an exciting rest of the series, because now we know we're at least getting 5 games, 4 games out of this. So the more basketball, the merrier.
Yeah. Who do you think takes the next game? How about the next 2? Do you think they end up splitting, or how do you think this shakes out? Yeah.
I think they split. I think the Lynx will get this one at home. That they'll be rocking. Where they play Target Center or something? I can't remember. But they'll be rocking. They'll be out there. Their crowd gets into it. They love their fans. It'll be 19,000 on hand. I'm expecting a sellout. So, and I think, they'll learn from this one, get the crowd on their side, and take control. And I think in game 2 out there, which will be game 4, deliberately take it. Like, they'll just find a way to win, gritty, doing what they do, and bring this back to New York for a great game 5.
Game 5 is when? Will we have a show before then?
Let's see. I know game 3 is Wednesday. No, and these mofos, it'd be Wednesday, Sunday. Friday, Sunday. I'll put the shit on against football. Like, come on, man.
So next Monday, as we're sitting here, who will be WNBA champs?
I'm feeling it's going to be the Liberty. They get there first. I think they're going to finally get that first one. I mean, they've been the number one seed basically all year. And they've been in their history, they've been close a number of times. I think this is the year they put it together. And Breonna Stewart has that kind of championship look to her.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she gets that look when she gets in the finals. She's hard to beat. Like last year was the first time she's ever lost in the finals.
Well,
If you can believe that. Like high school, college, pros, it doesn't happen. She doesn't let it happen. This year she has that look. So I think they'll put it together. They got tons of weapons up and down. They are not afraid to use their height to their advantage and play big. And I think that big lineup that they use is kind of too much for the Lynx in their small lineup. Yeah. I mean, sometimes big is just big. You can't, especially on the basketball floor. You can't get rebounds, can't block shots, you can't box people out because they're too big.
As you can see, you can't even pass because they're hitting Stewie's long ass arms.
Right? Like she's 7-foot wingspan. Just you can't get around her. And you got John Quell out there with her big old wingspan as well. Like it's just hard to defend. So I think they ultimately bring it home in New York.
Yeah.
But I said that about the Commissioner's Cup and the Lynx won in New York. So you never know.
I wish both could lose. But I to think it'll be the Liberty. And if not, then just forget about it. Like just fucking blow it all up because it ain't fucking happening. Like this is your best chance. This has been the best the team has been. As we saw all through the off season, I mean all through the regular season. And like you said, we know how having no height and having a short team, it just becomes too much. Like there's only so much that they can do, you know. So as long as obviously Sabrina doesn't go cold, like doesn't have a game 3 against the Aces type of showing, like you said, I can't see Stewie just like we joke because you know like she missed those shots in game 1, but like that's just not Stewie, you know.
And she still had a great game in game 1. Just the ending was like how she missed that free throw? What the hell?
And that's why I think she'll be even more on top of her game throughout the rest. Because she's not gonna let that happen again. And then JJ, like as long as she can stay out of foul trouble, because her team needs her. They need her to win. Like they're not gonna be able to do it with her sitting on the bench. So she has to stay out of foul trouble. Like you have to find a way to help your team win without fucking fouling every freaking 5 seconds. Like, come on, you know? And so far this series, she's done that, you know? So as long as she can continue. But obviously we know, you know, the other side has Fee and, you know, has great players. I just think the Liberty, like I said, should be fucking embarrassed if they lose this. You should be fucking embarrassed.
I'm with you 1,000%. If they don't win this one, like we said, their whole thing this year was to build their team to get over the hump of the Aces, right? Get past them. You get past them, you should be in line to win it all. And they did that. And to get here and to not do it, it ain't gonna happen now. Like blow it up. You got to change directions. You got to do something different.
Or it'd be the new head coach or whatever. Something has to change.
It obviously ain't working. It ain't working out. Whatever you're putting together can only get you so far. And this is the year that you should do it.
Because this week, the Aces, this week team that they were this season, it ain't going to be like that next season. So we'll be back.
You know, so they coming back.
You should have got it done this season because we're winning the next season. So your chances are fucking done already.
Yeah. And ain't no Olympic break or none of that to break up things. And you know, we ain't got no big off-season injuries like Chelsea was, like Kia was, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Even Asia had off-season surgery. Like people seem to forget about all this shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're gonna come back healthier and hungrier and like hopefully retooled. Like we mentioned, getting Asia another big, some help down low, so she's not the only person freaking trying to grab rebounds. Like, yeah, it's gonna be something.
You never know if Liberty lose. Maybe if they win, who knows? We might have Stewie on the Aces next season, so you guys better just.
I thought you wanted Satu. Now you want Stewie? What's
Both.
up? Both. Oh damn! You can't have it all now.
Yeah, I can. All right, let's talk about these head coaching openings. Obviously, the Valkyries has been taken. Are there? So I have the Sky Sparks Dream.
Yep.
Am I missing anybody? Or that's all currently?
Nope. That's all. That's all there is currently.
So that leaves also Teaspoon, Kurt Miller, and Tanisha Wrong out there available. Which of these three openings, Sky, Sparks, Dream, as they currently stand, obviously, we don't know what they're going to do in the draft and whatnot. Which of those would be the most attractive opening right now?
Ooh, man, that's a good one. Ooh.
Because you have the Dream. So let's break it down.
Yeah.
The Dream, you have a bunch of pieces.
Yeah.
That should be winning, but
not.
So
not. And they got players like Ryan Howard, Alicia
Gray.
I'm forgetting Alicia Gray. Thank you so much. I want to say Alicia Clark. My God, I'm on AC. I love you just too much. You're the only Alicia. Her, Nas Hillman, Tina Charles. Like they got pieces. Well, is Tina Charles going to play next year? She's up there, right? Like,
and then
we don't know.
The Sky.
Yeah.
So obviously you got Angel, Cardoso
Camilla,
in their second years. Maybe Ken comes back, Kennedy comes back.
Carter.
Who knows? We'll see what happens with her, but let's assume she'll be back. And then you had the Sparks, couple rookies now that are going to be in their second years over there.
They got Kia Jackson, Ray Burrell, that center, young. What's her name? Oh, I can't forget her name. She's mad young.
What's the girl that got hurt?
Well, it's Cameron Brink. Brink will be coming back. They got her. They got Lexi Brown. If she comes back healthy, she'll be a piece.
You got old what's her face?
They got Alicia Carrington. She retired. Damn it, the hell. They got about her. To me,
the old ace.
How can we forget the Erica Hamby? Yeah. My God. Unbelievable. And we were talking about her earlier. Lee Yaru is the center I was talking about. The young center from China.
And all of them are up to get the number 1 overall pick as well. So
yeah, exactly. So they should have they're in the lottery. They should be getting the high draft pick. Top 3 guaranteed, right?
So one of them gets Paige, probably.
So for me, I'm taking the LA job. I'm thinking that's the most attractive. Just because of they got the number of pieces that they have on the team that we just talked about. I mean, Cameron Brink coming back. We saw Rikia Jackson should have been starting from day one. Ray Burrell had an outstanding year. Lee LaRue, the young center, had a great year. Cameron Brink was playing well until she tore her ACL. So she'll be back and she'll be healthier. We know who Erica Hamby is, like great player. If they can get some guards to help, with them, I think they got a real good nucleus there of players, with Erica, the veteran, leading them, to get them right.
Mm-hmm.
And with this high draft pick that they're going to come up with, that's going to just reinforce them even further. So I'd be in line to take that position. I think the Sky would be second for me, my second choice, because with those two twin towers,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get Kennedy back and maybe a few other pieces, there'll be something. And then Atlanta would be last.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Atlanta, it's because you have like stars making a lot of money that don't go together, don't play well together. Like what are you going to do with that? It's like a freaking mess over there. It's like, do you blow it up? Do you trade pieces out? Do you?
Yeah. They got players. They were injured a lot, but they need more. I think they just need a lot more. Like Tina Charles is great center, but she's the only like center they have. And she's up there, right? We know Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard are great guards.
I just don't like them together. Maybe that's
it. I know. Maybe they offset each other too much.
Yeah.
It's weird. And like their point guard, Jordan Canada is a real good point guard. She's a defensive-minded point guard who likes to distribute so she could get them the ball, which is great, but she was injured for half the season. And she's had a couple of injuries in the past, I think. So it's like, can you depend on her?
Yeah.
But aside from them, everyone else is like basically a role player.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have a true like fourth to step up and do scoring and things like that. So they need a few more pieces. Like most teams you see, they got 4 players in double figures. And for them, you might get 2 or maybe 3. And then that's it. It's like you need more.
Yeah, they should just trade Alicia Gray to Vegas and then.
And you want Stewie, Alicia Gray, Satu Sabali. Who else you want out there?
Well, I'll keep adding to the list as the off season goes. Satu's number 1, though. Let's make that clear. She's my number 1 off season get is Satu. All right. So, who do you think then? Do you think that these teams should be looking at any of these people that got fired? Do you think they should be looking outside, maybe promoting, like we saw Natalie get promoted?
Yeah.
Like, how do you think we should go about filling the head coaching positions of these teams?
Yeah, I think a little of both. Like we talked about Teaspoon and the job she did with these young players. Like we talked about the Sparks. They're a young team, young players. They can use her guidance and her pedigree to and the Sparks didn't play any defense. They need some defensive help. She can help them play defense. That way their offense can do their natural thing. That'll be fine. Right? So like she could be a candidate. And like we mentioned, there's just like Natalie, there's a bunch of assistants in the league, former players, been around for a while, who have the pedigree. They're just waiting in line to get a shot. So they should definitely hire from within, I feel. There's people, that know the league, know how it plays, knows the players. Let's put them in position to help us win. And I think that's the best thing. Like we saw what Phoenix did, hire from the outside. And with that team, we know all the players they got. And they're playing 500 ball. They just can't get right. And it's like, why? Why? What's going on? It's like, hey, if you don't know the league and how it operates, like, do you want to be trying to learn on the fly? Or do you want someone who can help you now? And I think you need someone to help you now because this league is only going to get harder with these extra teams coming in, right? And they're going to be poaching and doing things and taking their shot. So get someone who can help you win now. I think that's the smart thing that the Valkyrie did. Like, all right, we need someone who knows this league and can help us win like now and get this thing off to the right track.
Yep,
Bring in
a
an
proven
Natalie,
winner.
someone exactly, someone from a winning organization who knows the game, sees the game, and can help us right now.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah. This league is about to make some big changes this next couple of years with this expansion. You know, the couple of teams coming in. We'll see. You know, maybe more, 2, 3. We'll see how far they go. But
yeah, and they allegedly a third is on the horizon.
Yeah. So these expansion drafts, then obviously more teams means more coaches. You know, so whether that means teams getting poached for their coaches, or, you know, hopefully we see, like, I want to see coaches. Obviously, you know, some coaches deserve second chances and whatnot, but other coaches, you know, promoted from within. The whole, I'm going to bring in a male from another fucking league that has never been a head coach, that has no coaching experience, doesn't know how this league works, obviously. Yet we're going to give them the head coaching job, pay them more money than anybody else. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, what in the actual fuck?
Like last week I mentioned Christy Tolliver. I mentioned her. Like, point guard, winner. I believe she won the championship with the Mystics. Has been assistant coach in this league for a period of time. Actually was an assistant coach in the NBA as well. Like, she has that kind of Becky Hammon pedigree to her. Yeah. She knows the game, played the game, has the coaching pedigree, is respected, and can easily be moved up into that head coaching job. Like, there's people like her out there. So, like, hopefully these teams make smart decisions and say, hey, come in for an interview. Let's talk. Because I'm serious about this.
Yeah, hopefully they learn from other teams' mistakes and they don't just keep following the same stupid shit, because that's what always has been done, you know? Like, let's keep doing it because that's the way it's always been. Like, no. Like, shit needs to change and be fucking right. But yeah, I mean, that's all we have. We'll see who, you know, pulls ahead in these finals. Obviously, we'll see, you know, if any of these other teams fire any coaches, and then teams should start hiring coaches pretty soon here too. So we'll definitely be keeping track of all that.
When is the expansion draft happening again? Is that the 31st? Was that on Halloween or later?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Oh, let me see if I can look it up real quick. That doesn't happen. Excuse me. That doesn't happen before we get back, does it? Oh, that's not until December. Never mind.
Okay. So
okay. I'm just panicking because, like, so much is going to happen. We're going to have a championship by the time we get back next week. I'm like, what else is going to happen?
So much happens in a week.
I know. What else is going to happen? But that's not until December. So we got a ways to go for that.
So we'll start, you know, talking about these other leagues, obviously unrivaled. We'll be following along with, you know, so we'll start getting into that as the WNBA season comes to a close. But yeah, any closing thoughts before we get out of here, Ty?
No, it's just fun to see the finals. I hope it goes 5 because the more games, the merrier. Asia sneakers coming out. They announced a date for that. So we got the A1 to look forward to. And she's been rocking more gear. So be on the lookout for that. Because we talked about this earlier in the season. It's not just a sneaker, it's a whole thing coming. So that's something excited to be looking for. And just paying attention to some players overseas. Like, overseas is happening. So pay attention to EuroLeague and Australia and China and all that good stuff. Because players are still playing. But Unrivaled in February is going to be the big one for us here in the States.
Yep. Ty and I will be back tomorrow to talk 49ers. We'll be back next Monday, same time, same place. Talk WNBA, women's basketball, aces. Add it on. Valkyries, unrivaled. Just keep comma next. We'll talk about it. All right. Because it's a long off season for the WNBA. So we got to fill in the blanks with all the other stuff. So, these ladies might get tired of us following them around by the end of all this. You don't know. But yeah, me and Ty will be back to talk 49ers tomorrow. Until then, everybody have a safe, wonderful rest of your nights. We're out of here.
See ya.